All right, what is going on? Let's see who's in here. Who's in here right now? I know the stream just started, but be cool to know where everyone's coming from right now. Oh, we'll get started in just a second, and we're gonna cover several topics today. Let's hit this intro real quick. All right. So, this is only for reference. This is only my second live stream, but I'm hoping to do more of these to whoever's watching out there. This is gonna get published to our channel afterwards. So if anyone is watching after the fact, I'm gonna go ahead and post this afterwards for reference. So anyone watching in the future, let me know where you guys are watching from. That'll be cool to know. I'll be doing a lot more live streams in the future. Anyways, if we don't get a lot of people in here, I'm just gonna go ahead and talk to you guys directly and let you guys know what's been going on over here. So it's been a crazy Thanksgiving weekend so far. Maneuvering through this whole COVID situation has been super different for everybody, I'm sure. Anyone who's just joining in, let me know where you guys are coming from, where you're watching from. That'll be cool to know. Again, I'll be doing more live streams in the future, and I'll do a better job of planning them out and letting you guys know ahead of time. And hopefully, Darren and I can get a schedule. But this weekend, I've been outside of the Thanksgiving situation. I know everyone doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving, but I don't know how many people saw that Roy Jones Jr. fight last night. One of the things that a lot of people don't know is that I'm a huge boxing fan, and Roy Jones Jr., Mike Tyson, two of my favorite fighters, were fighting last night, and it was cool to see them. Kind of a dull fight, though. What's up, Harish? How you doing, man? I'm doing good. Can't complain over here. I'm super cold right now, as you can tell. I got the hood on and everything, but I'm doing good, man. How are you doing? Where you watching from, man? I'm just kind of curious to know where everyone's watching from. But yeah, last night was watching Roy Jones Jr. versus Mike Tyson. Pretty entertaining. It's been kind of different. This is normally a Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend, but it seems like a lot of deals are all happening all at once. What's up, Robbie Verse? What's going on, man? How you doing? Yeah, so I'm going to get into the main topics for anyone watching. I'm going to get into the main topics in just a little bit. I'm still kind of new to the whole live streaming situation, so after the fact, I'll try to put title cards in this video for when it gets published later. But yeah, what's going on, guys? Curious to know how your guys' weekend has been going. Don't know if you're celebrating Thanksgiving, but I imagine most people have a longer weekend. And I've been spending this longer weekend kind of binging shows, binging movies, and online shopping, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know how many of you guys are watching The Mandalorian. Gosh, man, I know we've mainly covered DC topics on this channel, but had to talk about The Mandalorian on this because I've obviously, you can see in the background, got my Star Wars posters up. But that was insane. This Mandalorian episode was absolutely insane. Rosario Dawson was fan cast by Disney years ago. It was fan cast by the fans years ago, and Disney actually listened, which was super cool. And seeing the Ahsoka from the animated series brought into live action was sick. And I gotta say, though I did enjoy the sequel trilogy for what it was. This was kind of like better than the whole sequel trilogy. Just seeing Ahsoka, with her dual white lightsabers, kicking some ass. It was pretty awesome. But catching up on The Mandalorian, and also if you guys haven't seen it yet, what's up, Benemus Prime. What's going on, man? How you doing? Um, I'm doing good. I'm just kind of recapping what I've been doing this weekend right now, and so outside of watching these shows, there's another show I've been binge watching that I think you guys might like. What's up? What's up, Killer Cameron? Um, I've been watching this show on Amazon Prime, guys, called Utopia. I think you guys might be interested in it, given how it's comic book related somewhat. So Amazon just came out with the American version of this show called Utopia, where there's a comic book that kind of somewhat predicts live real world events. And I gotta say, it is super relative to what's going on in the world today. And it's pretty insane. I don't want to give away too much, but this comic book is pretty freaky, and it's able to kind of predict what's going on in these, all this, the health situations going on around the world, the pandemic situations. This comic book predicts it, and I binged through the American version so much. I started watching the UK version, and it's pretty insane. So, gotta recommend Utopia to you guys if you guys aren't watching a show right now, or if you aren't currently binge watching a show. But yeah, what's going on, guys? What are you guys here to talk about today? We're gonna talk about a few different things. We're gonna talk about this whole Wonder Woman situation, potentially in the Flash. Gonna talk about that Joker description that kind of was talked about on Twitter by some scoopers, and then we'll talk about maybe the Batman, and also maybe go into some comments. Sorry, 1 second, put my charger back in. So, oh yeah, and I gotta say, before we start getting into the main topics, I gotta say, as a huge Star Wars fan, I gotta say, rest in peace to Dave Prowse, the guy who played Darth Vader in the original trilogy. Not the voice of Darth Vader, but the man behind the mask in his suit. I gotta say, rest in peace, because he just recently passed away this morning, I guess. Really, really sad. Hey, what's going on, Rishin Ray? So yeah, I know I've been kind of delaying going into the main topics, but just kind of recapping my weekend. Let me know how your guys' weekend was, and what you've been doing. But yeah, let's go. I'm here to chill for about an hour or so, depending on how long everyone wants to talk. But let's go into kind of the first little segment today. So this is kind of a catch up, because as you guys probably noticed, Darren and I haven't posted a video in about a week. And that's because of a lot of different reasons. Darren's with family and doesn't have access to some good internet connection. And I have been trying to navigate this whole Thanksgiving thing with multiple families, and obviously trying to keep things safe. So it's been a busy week, but I'm going to be planning to do more live streams. Yep. What's going, Hazim? We're gonna definitely talk about that Joker look in a little bit. But okay, let's talk about Wonder Woman first. Did my weekend recap. Let's talk about this Wonder Woman situation, just because I guess I clicked off the article. Let me pull it back up. But we got some Wonder Woman news that I'm sure you probably heard about. Wonder Woman is potentially, the original Wonder Woman, Lynda Carter, is potentially going to be in the Flash movie. Let me pull that article back up. I accidentally X'd out of it. But let's see. So Lynda, sorry about this, guys. Let me pull it. Lynda Carter, Flash. Oh, I don't know why it's not pulling up. Anyways, so basically the story was basically Lynda Carter is essentially potentially going to return as Wonder Woman herself in the Flash. And I was going to pull up an article. I didn't. I guess I X'd out of it. Anyways, so kind of crazy, this Flash movie. We talked a little bit about it in my first test live stream, but it's something that some people still don't think is actually going to be happening. It doesn't feel real yet, just because we saw some concept art at DC Fandom, and I think the concept art looks dope, and it's pretty cool how they they got Flash in a new suit, and you got Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman in the background, but to potentially see more characters from past actors who played iconic characters in the DC universe injected into this movie. I think there's kind of two mindsets about it because, for one thing, it seems like it's kind of straying away from the comic book storyline. But at the same time, Andy Muschietti definitely talked about how this Flash movie was going to be a little bit different. It wasn't going to be exactly like the comic book, and it's going to have a lot of fan service. And this whole, Wonder Woman, Lynda Carter potentially jumping into this Flash movie is kind of a testament to that. Having, Ben Affleck's Batman in it and Michael Keaton's Batman in it was already fan service enough, but we might get Lynda Carter up in here, and I think there was talk about having some of the Justice League members show up. And to me, you gotta have the Justice League members show up if it is indeed a Flashpoint movie, and it doesn't have to focus solely on them. I'd be okay with appearances and short cameos, but if you're gonna have, I feel like if you're gonna do this, you either don't go so much into the fan service and make it a solely Flash movie, or if you do go full fan service, you got to go all out with this fan service, right? So I'm kind of curious to what people would like to see, because if Lynda Carter's jumping in, man, they need to get Grant Gustin in there as the Flash. Lynda Carter would be cool for sure. I forget the actor who originally played the Flash. He was in the Flash TV show as well, as Jay Garrick. Who was, I forget his name, but they got to get him in there. I feel like they should either go all out or kind of like dial it down and just keep it to these characters that are that they currently have, because I don't want it to not become a Flash movie at that point. And I know they got a lot to compete with Marvel and everything going on right now with the multiverse. So Bemis Prime says, will WB age Keaton? I imagine they'll age Keaton because, you never know. They could do a ton with, VFX. You look at Aquaman, for example. I can't remember if they used some de-aging technology on Nicole Kidman. She was looking amazing in that movie. But I know they did use some for Aquaman's father. I forget the actor's name. He's also playing Boba Fett and Jango Fett. But he was definitely de-aged. And I think for Michael Keaton, I would imagine they're going to age him up. I would imagine that. Michael Keaton looks pretty good for his age, mind you. But I do imagine they'll age him up and he'll end up being some sort of a mentor to the Flash. That's what I imagine. Anthony Starr's Reverse Flash. Oh, man, you kind of are nailing that casting right there, because after seeing The Boys on Amazon Prime, guys, if you were not watching The Boys, I always tweet about it, but if you're not watching The Boys, you guys need to be watching The Boys on Amazon Prime. Absolutely amazing. Anthony Starr plays Homelander, who's essentially that universe's version of Superman, and he plays a sadistic, evil version of Superman. And a lot of us fans who are watching, a lot of us DC fans, not only are we treated to some special commentary in the movie, because in the show actually references Snyder Cut and things like that. It's hilarious. But he just screams Reverse Flash. So, I talked about it in the last stream. I hope they do not gender bend the Reverse Flash, and I do hope he is the main villain. And Anthony Starr would be amazing. I imagine. Sorry for if I'm twitching and everything, guys. I'm kind of wired off this coffee, and it is freezing in this room. What's up, Au Pair Francis? Or I'll call you Francis. I don't know if I'm saying the other things right. What's up, Francis? He says, why is that Marvel always copies DC ideas? Because DC had the multiverse idea first. Well, obviously both universes have their versions of multiverses. It's funny. DC just always ends up on the short string of things because, Kevin Feige, whatever you would like to say about him, the guy is very smart in how he's doing things. And, there's that famous story of him greenlighting Captain America Civil War after Batman v Superman came out, just to compete with the fact that Batman v Superman are these two iconic characters. And if he could release his version of, superheroes going against each other before DC does it, you'll essentially beat DC to the punch. And it feels like kind of the same thing here. Though, to be fair to Marvel, they did plant the idea of the multiverse in Ant-Man already. So, or Doctor Strange, I think, even before that. But, so to be fair to them, they were planting the seed of the multiverse, but I do think it got sped up, or a lot of things, they're actually throwing more at the wall ever since they found out that Michael Keaton was coming back as the Batman. They were definitely trying to one up DC, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, if you're a fan of both universes, which of course I'm more of a huge DC fan, but I do enjoy the Marvel stuff. So if you're a fan of both, you're gonna be eating good, But yeah, you know what? Why are they copying? Because they want to one up. They want to one up, their competition, and I can't fault them for that. But it does kind of suck. But I gotta say, if you are a fan of both, you'll be eating good. So Rishan Ray says, spoiler alert: do you think the courtroom scene in The Boys was similar to BVS? Oh, huh. Yeah. The courtroom scene, yeah, again, so he's talking about if you're watching The Boys. If you guys are not watching The Boys, watch The Boys. But the courtroom scene, yeah, you know what? I guess it was similar. That was absolutely, a shocker moment for me. I gotta say the shocker moment was, it's both shocking in BVS and in The Boys when, spoiler alert, heads start exploding. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it had the same effect as it did in BVS. In BVS, that was just like devastating. That's, when you see Henry Cavill's face just not being able to do anything at that point, it had a different effect to me. The Boys is always just so bombastically, surprising, and in BVS it definitely hit different, I think. But it was cool. Thanks, Francis, man. I appreciate you, man. I know you've been riding with us for a while here on this channel. Bemis Prime says, "What are your thoughts on Man of Steel?" Oh man, you guys, I love it when Twitter or anyone on here brings up Man of Steel, because Man of Steel, I was watching it. I think it was on TNT the other day too, on Thanksgiving Day. Flipping through the channels, trying to find something to watch, and Man of Steel was on, and Man of Steel, my favorite superhero movie of all time. For a while I was bouncing back and forth between The Dark Knight and Man of Steel, but I gotta say Man of Steel remains my favorite. Everything from the score of the movie to the exploration of Krypton to the cast and the new spin, well, not necessarily new spin, but the twist on the Superman lore and what Zack Snyder did with it, bringing Superman into the real world. I think it was way ahead of its time, and I think it's still ahead of its time, because there's still people who don't get it. And when you get those people who are just, incredibly critical, because of the differences between, the lore Zack Snyder created and what's in the comics. I just think, man, people, some people just don't get it. I think it's amazing. My favorite superhero movie. I'm curious to know what your guys' favorite superhero movies are in the comments down below, or in the chat room. Let me know what your guys' favorite superhero movie is. But anyways, yeah, I talked a little too much about this Wonder Woman situation, but it's funny enough, in terms of adding more characters to this Flash movie. George Clooney actually had some comments about his potential joining of the Flash movie. His comments were, I guess he was doing an interview with Empire, and they asked him about being disappointed that he wasn't called back into the role of Batman in the Flash, and he said this: "It's funny. You'll notice they didn't call me. Somehow I didn't get that call. They didn't ask for my nipples. Listen, there are certain things you never know. This one I know." And he starts laughing. And George Clooney, love him as an actor, did not love him as Batman or Bruce Wayne, for that matter. And again, to be fair, I haven't watched his Batman movies in a long time, though he did have the ugliest suit, especially with the infamous nipples on his suit. And I'm glad to see that he's just kind of laughing about it now. And again, if he did make an appearance, I wouldn't even be mad at it, because I'm saying go all in or dial it down and make it solely a smaller Flash movie, especially for Flash's first outing. But it looks like they're going with the all-in approach. So Yeah. Let's go ahead and so talked a little bit about that. Let's go ahead and get into this Joker description, guys. So so kind of the meat of this whole catch up was and the biggest news to come out in the past week, I think. And maybe it wasn't necessarily news; it's still kind of rumors, but is like little details of this description of Jared Leto's Joker and Zack Snyder's Justice League was online, and I gotta say shout out to Ping Pong Flicks, shout out to Dave the Film Junkie, shout out to Grace Randolph. None of them know me, but I've been followers of their channels for a while, and they were lucky enough to get interviews with the man himself, Zack Snyder, and good for them, man. They deserve it. They've been riding with the Snyder Cut movement as we have been for the past few years. And some revelations came out of those live streams, and now details are coming out about the Joker. Francis, oh man, that would be awesome. I'd probably freeze up if I got to interview Zack Snyder, but I would love to do that someday. That's just a dream. But in terms of what Grace did the first interview with Zack Snyder, and she revealed that Zack Snyder actually showed her an image of Jared Leto's Joker in his cut. And of course, Zack Snyder's always taking behind the scenes images. I'm sure it was, fantastic, probably a black and white image taken on his Leica camera. But she said she basically had nothing but praise for it. She said it was amazing. She said she thinks DC fans will love it. People asked if it was, the same as David Ayer's Joker or something like that. And she just mentioned that it's more DC. And I'm really curious to know what she meant by that. And apparently Ping Pong Flicks didn't get to see the photo because he didn't have an iPhone, which kind of sucks. But basically, here's what we got. So people like Daniel RPK, who is one of those scooper guys, and I forget what else he writes for, but Daniel RPK, and there was a Twitter, Moonlight Warrior, who posted little descriptions. Basically, Daniel RPK posted, hey, Joker's look is pretty cool in Zack Snyder's Justice League. And so kind of teasing the fact that he probably saw it or knows about it, and or probably saw it. And Moonlight Warrior posted these three descriptions, I guess. He's going to have long hair. He's going to be rugged. And the biggest thing was that he's not going to have any tats or capped teeth. And that is pretty revealing all in itself. These three little things. Let me see what you guys are saying. I'll get to you, Ray, in just a second. But but yeah, basically these three things. What are my thoughts on it? And because I wanted to make a video about this a few days ago. But long hair, rugged, no caps or capped teeth. So a lot of people are speculating that this is going to be a nightmare scene. This nightmare scene sequence. I think Zack Snyder mentioned he only filmed about 4 minutes of new footage to be added into his already kind of 4-hour cut of the movie. So if I had to guess, and I think I said this before in my previous stream or one of my previous videos, I do think it's probably a nightmare scene. And a lot of people are kind of confused, I guess, about whether or not this Jared Leto Joker is the same as David Ayer's Suicide Squad Joker. And if I had to say something, my take on it is, yes, it is the same person, but it's not at the same time, because this is the nightmare scenario that I think is being filmed. So people are saying, why the long hair? If I had to go with Occam's razor, this most simplest explanation of why this Joker has long hair, it's probably because Jared Leto currently has long hair and he was called in to film this part. And, this wasn't originally part of Zack Snyder's Justice League. So he had to do additional footage. He had to call and convince Jared Leto to come here. And if you see one of his most recent photos where he kind of teased that there'll be Morbius in next year and another couple surprises, he had super long hair. His hair was banging. It was like you know. So if there was, you know, a reason for long hair, it's probably because he had long hair himself, and Zack was probably just working with what he had. And rugged, that kind of tells me that it's most likely the nightmare scenario, because you just look at the scene in BVS, and you just look how rugged Batman was, how the world has just become this kind of barren wasteland. The whole situation with no tats or capped teeth, again, because it could be because of budgetary reasons, or it could be because Zack didn't, you know, like that look. And the fact that this is going to be potentially, in my mind, the nightmare scene, you know, this is a different world that would have happened if whatever scenario played out. And yeah, I mean, I guess the most simplest explanation is, hey, they got him in for some quick shoots, and Zack thought he would look cooler without the tats or capped teeth. And you never know, he could be covered up, so maybe you don't see the damaged tattoo. Maybe in this world, Batman never beat. Well, I don't know if that would make sense, but you know, he got the capped teeth because Batman beat the teeth out after he killed Robin. And I know there's supposed to be, you know, there's supposed to be a nod to Robin in this movie too. So, you know, I don't know. Will this happen in the nightmare scene, or will it happen outside of it? But yeah, I think the most simplest explanation was just Zack liked his own look, wanted his own look. But if you really wanted to get into the details, you could kind of make a case for it being Jared Leto from Suicide Squad or not. Let's see what you guys are saying. Francis saying, at this point, we've come to understand that WB can't imagine DC properties or manage DC properties. Yes, that's very true. What will the Joker's drip be, though? I'm not sure what that means. Benemus. I'm not sure what that means. But yeah, it's this is something that I thought was super cool. Now, when I think back to Grace Randolph's you know, explanation that this is more DC version of the Joker, you know, a lot of people had a lot of, you know, were throwing comic book references on Twitter, and like, you know, I can't imagine what she means by this. But, you know, the funny thing is, people were commenting on her thread, and they were trying to guess what she meant by more DC. And, you know, she didn't really respond to a lot of people when they were throwing like comic book panels at her on her comment post. But the one thing she did say was close was when someone posted a version of Heath Ledger's Joker in his nursing outfit. You know, the scene where he explodes the hospital in The Dark Knight. So she said getting warmer to the person who posted that. So it's really, you know, it's really perplexing to me that she says, you know, with these three descriptions from Moonlight Warrior, long hair, rugged, no tats or capped teeth, when she says that this is going to be more DC, and then when someone posts Heath Ledger's Joker as a nurse in his nurse outfit, she said that's getting warmer. So I imagine that the Joker is going to be in some sort of disguise. Maybe I'm baffled, really, guys. Let me know what you guys think, you know, about this situation. Do you think this description is correct? Do you think this is what's going to come to light? Especially if you've seen what Grace Randolph had to say about it. Let me know if you guys thought anything. Yeah, because it's kind of perplexing to me. Now, I gotta say, if you guys, I don't know how many of you guys are comic book readers out there. I'm kind of, I'm more of a like lately, especially a casual reader. Like I'll read certain runs that I find interesting, or if something catches my eye. Things that I need to get caught up a lot on many stories. Get caught up with many stories. But one of the last stories I read in full was Batman: The Last Night on Earth. And I think it was Scott Snyder's and Greg Capullo's last team up run on the Batman, and it was sick. And the cool thing about it is that Batman and the Joker team up in a sorts. It's in a future scenario, a different, you know, it's supposed to be like the Logan of Batman stories, if I'm to remember correctly. But he basically travels this barren wasteland of a future with Joker's talking head, and it's freaking awesome. So I gotta say, if this nightmare scene involves Batman and Joker teaming up, I think that would be amazing. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Jared Leto even commented that I think it was Jared Leto. The most interesting scenario for a Joker story, is him teaming up with Batman. So I don't know if that was a hint to what we might be seeing in these like maybe 30 seconds to 2 minutes of footage, but it would be awesome to see some sort of Batman and Joker team up. And that would mean Batman would have to let go of some of the past actions of what Joker has done and come to grips with that, and that would be cool to see. So what are you guys saying in the comments? So Benemius Prime is saying Ben Affleck wasn't kidding at fandom when he said it would be Zack's ultimate version of Justice League, and you're right. Zack, imagine getting to do this. I almost think Zack might be happier that this happened, because if his version was to be released in theaters, it would have been a compromised version, and he's mentioned as much. But this is absolutely no compromise, and it's so great that the old guard at DC has been kicked out, and we got this this new leadership that's willing to listen to the fans, and Zack being able to film this new footage is just a testament to that, because Jared Leto's Joker wasn't even in Zack's original cut. So it's pretty nuts. Oh yeah, okay. So Hazim says Grace mentioned an ambulance and a cop emoji. Yeah. So again, in David Ayer's Suicide Squad, I think. Well, I don't know if this scene was cut or not, but I can't remember. But Jared Leto was dressed up as a SWAT team member, if I remember correctly. I've only seen the movie a handful of times, guys, because though I enjoy the cast and the dynamic, I did think that movie was lacking. And of course, I'd love to see the Ayer cut released, because I'm sure anything would have been better than kind of the mashup we got in Suicide Squad, though I enjoy some parts and aspects of it. Francis saying, going off topic here, but what's your thoughts on Dave Chappelle's recent special, Unforgiven? Gotta be honest, I have not watched it yet. I love Dave Chappelle. I have not watched it yet, and that's very, it's something it's on my list of things to watch. I have a ton of things. I tend to get a little bit sidetracked with my list. Again, I went through it in the beginning of this stream, but I have been I've been binge watching both versions of Utopia, the American version and the British version, and I gotta say, I think the British version is actually better. But Utopia is something that I've been watching, and I've been watching. What else have I been? I've been watching a ton of other things too, but yeah, it's still on my list, so I haven't seen it. But if you're saying, if I don't know if you're trying to relate it to a topic that we're talking about right now, or if just because it's good, let me know. I'm definitely gonna watch it though. But yeah, this whole Joker description, and let me know what you guys thought about it. I mean, are you guys willing to forgive? I guess that's not the right word. Were you guys on board with Jared Leto's Joker from the jump? Are you guys were on board and still on board, or is this kind of piquing your interest now if you weren't on board? Because I know a lot of people weren't. I know a lot of people weren't on board with Jared Leto's Joker and still aren't. I think Darren, wasn't a fan. I was a fan of him, and I think he got cut short a lot in that movie. So definitely release the Ayer cut. I definitely think we should see that. Ray says, what do you think about the Amazon spinoff of Spandex movie from Patty Jenkins? She just confirmed she still plans on doing it. The Amazonian spinoff. Damn, she confirmed that, huh? I didn't see that, but to be honest, depending on, I guess if you're, maybe some hardcore Wonder Woman comic book fan readers might be super hyped about it. I'm not hyped about it when I just hear it. I don't know what it's going to be about, and to be honest, if anyone and WB was going to put energy in doing, side shows, I don't know. I gotta say, I think their energy could be spent elsewhere. Kind of like what James Wan said he was doing the Trench. I think he was doing a Trench spin-off movie. That did not hype me up at all. And I gotta say, the Trench storyline from Aquaman is one of my favorite storylines. It's super cool from the comics, but to make them their own spin-off show, it doesn't interest me too much. Don't get me wrong, the Amazonians in the movies, amazing, and the whole there's a lot to explore there. But I do think it should be explored a little bit more in the movies first, and to kind of pique our interest to where they're going to lead to. Maybe they'll do it in this Wonder Woman 1984 movie, because I'm definitely eager to learn more about this world. And talking about Wonder Woman 1984, I gotta say, guys, Darren and I are going to be doing a watch party. Not only just to hang out. Me and Darren haven't been hanging out as much. We've been talking on the phone, texting, but because of the whole situation, we haven't been kicking it as much. But we do plan to meet up to do a watch party before Wonder Woman 1984 comes out. So we're going to go ahead and watch the first Wonder Woman movie. Date is to be determined. It's probably going to be on like a Thursday or Friday night. And then we'll be hanging out. Don't know how many people will be up for watching that, but we're going to be doing it, and we'll post it up regardless. So stay tuned for that if you guys are interested in hanging out. And both of us will be on the stream, which will be cool. So Bemis Prime thinks the Joker was just okay. Yeah, to be fair, he was just okay in the movie. And then Francis says Suicide Squad was indeed a mess. I hope Zack will do Leto's Joker justice. Yeah, again, I think there's an opportunity here for redemption for Jared Leto. And it's funny when you hear Zack Snyder talk on the live streams to like Dave, the film junkie, and Ping Pong Flicks and Grace. I think he mentioned that it was it took Jared Leto some convincing to actually come back to this. Now I'm not sure if because Jared Leto, and I'm sure he is just really, really picky about his roles, and or if he was just hesitant because of the backlash he got from being the Joker. I don't think it's that, though. I don't think it's that, because I know from what I understood, he wanted to come back, and he was upset that a lot of his footage got cut. So I would think that Jared Leto is just one of those guys who needs to know that there's a reason for him to play this role again. And from what Zach was talking about, he mentioned that like he had several phone calls with Jared, and Jared initially when he called Jared Leto, he pitched him the idea, and Jared was kind of like, so why are we doing this? That's kind of the sense I got. Why should I be doing this? Why is Joker in this? And Zach pitched him his idea, and then Jared Leto, I guess he said Jared Leto was kind of interested, and he said, okay, we'll talk, and kind of and just kind of hung up the phone from there. And it took like a couple more phone calls until I think he was on board, and Zach really had to explain why he thought Joker was belonged in this movie, and why why he would use all of his energy to bring Leto's in here. So I really think Jared Leto, one of those actors who takes the role seriously, and you could tell, especially with the behind the scenes, stories about his actions as the Joker, and his method acting. Hazim says maybe Joker is killing Robin in a flashback. Whoo, that would be insane. I'd be up for that for sure. Best believe if you see Robin getting killed in Zack Snyder's Justice League, all the Zack Snyder haters are going to be on Twitter and Rotten Tomatoes and on the blogs and websites just saying, no joy in Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder cut. They're going to be bashing on him, but I think it would be awesome to see. Only Zack would show that. I feel like only Zack would show that. It would be super cool to see that. But I do think we're not going to see that, because I think Zack said there would be only a nod to Dick Grayson's Robin. So Francis says it would be so cool to see Justice League 2 from Zack with Darkseid. Hell yes. And I don't want to get my hopes up too much, because we got to see how this movie does. Again, as much of a fan as I am, and as much as I already love what I see, and I know I'm gonna love the movie, because for me, again, I've been accused by family members and friends of liking too many movies. I find something to like in everything, but we got to see what the reception is. We got to see how many people are supporting this movie on HBO Max, how many people are getting onto HBO Max for it, and I think a lot of people will be on board, and I think a lot of people are intrigued with this movie. But it really would be a crazy budget. I just can't imagine. It'd be a crazy budget to try and bring all of these actors back for Justice League 2 just for a streaming service. Now, maybe if they make it a movie, that would be different. But from what I understand and what Zack says is the path that DC is on right now is their own path. It's cool, but his universe is his own. So I don't know. It would be cool. It would be cool to see a return to the Snyderverse back into theaters when theaters are finally up and running again. But man, it would, that would be cool for sure. I would love it. I would love to see Darkseid really go up against them, because Darkseid's only going to be making an appearance in here. It's not going to be a Darkseid centric movie, but his presence will be felt, and we will actually see him this time. And I would love to see that Justice League go up against Darkseid proper. That would be sweet. Now there's been talk a lot about animated, doing it as an animated version. I'd be up for it, but it's nothing hits quite the same as live action, man. Una Sima says, love Jared Leto as, sorry, I don't have my glasses on, guys. Neander, Wallace, Blade Runner. Oh, yes, Blade Runner 2049, and as Joker and Suicide Squad. Really want to see his Morbius. Yeah, his Morbius looks pretty cool, actually. I don't know a lot about Morbius, to be honest. The Spider-Man runs that I have read, none of them were Morbius runs. But yes, Jared Leto, an incredible actor, and him in Blade Runner 2049, that was sick. That was one of the instances in which the sequel was better than the original, in my opinion. And Jared Leto's, I guess I don't remember his name, Neander. I guess that's his name in Blade Runner. He was good. He was definitely a good part of that. He's a great actor, and supposedly he's going to be having. There's rumors that he's going to have. I know he's going to be in the new Tron movie that they're. I don't know if they're continuing or rebooting Tron, but I'm glad to see he's getting more jobs, because more Jared Leto, the better. Guy's awesome. Francis says, Grace has been saying that if WB and AT&T see that the outcome of Justice League, there'll be a slim chance of to get part 2. Yeah, and again, I'm definitely holding on to that chance, Justice League 2. Man, I'll say this, after what happened this year in 2020 and the announcements that we got, nothing is out of the question. So Justice League 2, I think if we make enough noise, maybe we'll get it in some form or fashion. And I love that Grace spills all of this. It's funny because when I first got onto YouTube and getting into this community of people that follow this type of news, Grace used to spew a lot of types of stuff, and a lot of stuff I used to find outrageous, but she has been spot on with a lot of things lately. And if she says this, it's definitely has some weight to it, and Justice League 2 would be awesome. And there's a whole Green Lantern situation, right? So like in my last stream, I talked about how there would be potentially no Green Lantern in the movie, and kind of disappointed me, to be honest. I definitely wanted to see a Hal Jordan Green Lantern. Now there'll be a Green Lantern in the movie, I guess, but potentially no Hal Jordan Green Lantern. And again, this is all just rumors right now, but I would love to see Zack's vision play out in full. Totally. And when you hear like many months ago, when like people like Kevin Smith was on his YouTube and podcast talking about what he heard from the behind the scenes cast and what they were setting up for, kind of makes you think that, man, they had something filmed already, because the scene that Zack teased to us, the scene in which Superman drops in his black suit, Kevin Smith said he talked to some of the people working behind the scenes that day, and he said that they had green lights set up for what was going to be a Green Lantern appearance. So the question is, did Zack Well, Zach filmed it, of course, in the red and blue suit, and then changed it to the black suit later on. But did he film that scene also with a Green Lantern as a potential post credit scene? Because there was rumors that there were Green Lanterns in there, and people behind the scenes talk about what they had filmed. And when Kevin Smith said that behind the scenes, he talked to people working on that scene, and they said they had green lights set up to kind of kind of show the aura given off by a Green Lantern. So, man, hard to know what to think about that. I do hope Zach gets to explore that. That would be sick. Since we don't got any Green Lantern news from the movie, anyways, right? And then, okay, so Francis says, who would you love to see play Green Lantern? Or I'm sorry, Green Arrow on the big screen? And there's only no. If I thought about it, there's probably more people who could. But the only person who screams out Green Arrow to me, and you guys probably know it, Charlie Hunnam. I made a video like early on in this channel. I was like driving home from work, and I just had some thoughts because Charlie Hunnam. You could search our channel to it. Charlie Hunnam, Green Arrow, Heroes Avenue. You can probably see my old video. Coming home from work, Charlie Hunnam was doing. There was an interview being done on Charlie Hunnam. I think he just had dropped that. Was it King Arthur remake? I thought it was dope. People didn't like it, but they interviewed him, and he said, or the interviewer had mentioned, hey, people want to see you play Green Arrow. They say you have a spitting, like you guys look like the character. And then Charlie Hunnam was like, oh, I wasn't aware of this. My phone's open. So DC, I mean, this was at the time where DC was run by the old guard, and they didn't listen to the fans, obviously. But man, if we got to see Charlie Hunnam, I think maybe the fans need to make some noise about this again, because Charlie Hunnam is a great actor. I've only seen a little bit of Sons of Anarchy. It got spoiled for me at the end, so I kind of lost. I mean, I didn't continue watching it, but everyone loves him there. Loved him in what other movies have I seen Charlie Hunnam in? The latest one I've seen him in is The Gentleman, the Guy Ritchie film. If you guys haven't seen Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman, I think it's on stream. I don't know if it's on streaming. I think you still gotta pay for it, or it might be on HBO Max. But The Gentleman this movie is a great, great movie. It's a total Guy Ritchie movie. Him coming from Aladdin to The Gentleman, it just felt like a coming to home party, because this is the type of movie Guy Ritchie should be making. And Charlie Hunnam's character in there was absolutely amazing, as is all the characters. What's his name was also in there. Guy who's playing the Penguin, I don't know, Colin Farrell. Amazing performances in there all around. Charlie Hunnam screams Green Arrow to me. He looks the part. I feel like he's the only one, at least in my casting right now, screams on top of the head. Yeah, and yeah, can't wait for Wonder Woman 1984. By the way, if you guys have a different fan casting for Green Arrow, let me know in the comments down below. And of course, it would be separate from what was his name? Something Amell, basically the guy who plays Green Arrow on the Arrowverse. Definitely, you gotta leave him out, because he's part of the Arrowverse. But if you guys had a casting, let me know. Una Sima says, Fury Road, was that him? No, that was Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy was in Fury Road. Oh, so, that'd be... I'm curious to know if you'd like to see Tom Hardy as Green Arrow. I don't know if I see him as Green Arrow, but Tom Hardy in the DC universe, I'd love to see him in there in some form. Again, he was Bane in the previous, Batman trilogy, but Tom Hardy, I would love to bring him in. That was Tom Hardy, not Charlie Hunnam. But yeah. Oh yeah, Francis the Gentleman. You guys gotta watch it. But Wonder Woman 1984. Yeah, I'm hyped for it. And you know what I saw was some big controversy on at least my Twitter feed, was there was some kind of debate as to how to or the reception to some of the new footage from Wonder Woman 1984. I think there was a slow motion clip of Gal Gadot running, and some people were criticizing it. I gotta say, I don't know if you guys have seen that, but I guess my take on it was that Patty Jenkins is totally going full 80s throughout the whole, not just the time frame, but she's trying to capture that feel of a movie, action movie in the 80s too. So that's why we're kind of seeing the action sequences the way we are. And I'm still hyped for it now, especially now that it's dropping on HBO Max. I would love to watch it in the theaters, but I got too many relatives that I see on a regular that are at risk, so I don't think I'm going to go to the theaters. I'd love to, though. I might. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to watch it on HBO Max on Christmas Day, and I'm hyped. My hype's died down, flatlined for a while. Now it's back up, and yeah, I can't wait to see it now. And funny enough, a lot of my family members' favorite DC movie is Wonder Woman, so I'm sure they're going to want to watch it with me. But again, plugging for anyone watching right now, Darren and I are going to be doing a live stream of the first Wonder Woman movie soon. Una Sima says, I mean, as the bald warrior in Fury Road. The bald warrior, you mean Furiosa? I'm not, sorry, tongue twister for me. Furiosa, I think that was her name. And I think that was Charlize Theron. She was amazing. And apparently she's going to get recasted in the spin-off. So they're doing a spin-off of Furiosa from Mad Max. And I think Anya Taylor-Joy, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is being casted as that. And Anya Taylor-Joy, man, it is the year of Anya Taylor-Joy because she just came out with the Queen's Gambit. And if you guys haven't seen Queen's Gambit on Netflix, not superhero related, but it's a pretty good show. Actually, it's a great show, I should say. And Anya Taylor-Joy was amazing. I'm going to watch New Mutants today. Darren already watched New Mutants, but she's also in New Mutants. Everyone says she kind of stole the show in that movie. So I'm going to watch Anya Taylor-Joy there. And I think she also came out with a different movie earlier. But, man, Anya Taylor-Joy, man, she's coming up. She's coming up. I'd love to see her as a role in a DC movie, by the way. I'll have to think about what I'd like to see her play. But yeah, I think WB would be smart to get her on board soon before Marvel probably takes her again. Ray says, quick question. Choose between the Superman theme from Flight Scene in Man of Steel and the Wonder Woman theme in BVS. Oh, when she saved Batman. Oh, that is a great question. That is a great question. That is so hard. I got to do a poll on that. I got to find a way to do a poll on that. That is a great question. So the question again is, choose between the Man of Steel theme flight scene, during the flight scene in Man of Steel, or the Wonder Woman theme in BVS when she saved Batman's ass. Oh man, I love that question because both those scenes are just like breathtaking scenes. That's hard. You guys know, if you guys follow the channel, the Man of Steel theme is my favorite theme, not only in all superheroes, just as the movie's my favorite, but it's something I play every day during like my workouts. I'm about to go for a run later today, guys. I always start my warm-up sequence as with the Man of Steel theme. And if I'm really feeling like a long run, sometimes I'll just play the whole Hans Zimmer original track. But I gotta say, I'm gonna say something that kind of contradicts, what I just said. I think if I had to choose, the feelings that I feel when Wonder Woman, that resonate when Wonder Woman jumped down to save Batman, and that feeling you see when the smoke clears and you see Gal Gadot kind of raise her eyebrows, that was one of the most that is the most badass entrance of any superhero of all time in any movie, and it will not be topped. I will say this right now, that will not be topped. So I gotta say, hearing that theme for the first time in that movie, that I'll have to pick that. I would have to pick that Wonder Woman theme because it hits so hard. And guys, I know you guys are gonna be jealous, but I got to see on my birthday 3 years ago Hans Zimmer live in the Berkeley Amphitheater here in California. I got to see Hans Zimmer perform both those themes live, and it was a life-changing experience, guys. Yeah, I was pretty. I'll just say I was. I was having a good time. I won't go more into there, but I saw that while on some substances, alcoholic substances for sure. But yeah, that was life-changing. and I need to see it again. Next time I'm gonna pay for front row seats to that because I got to see those two themes. But if I had to pick, it would be the Wonder Woman theme. Andrew Garfield or who's GA? For G Green Arrow. Andrew Garfield for Green Arrow. I could see that. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Andrew Garfield is an amazing actor. Yeah, you know what? And I think Andrew Garfield's going to be playing Spider-Man. He's going to be reprising his role as Spider-Man again. So maybe he'll have his return to superhero movies again. I would not be opposed to Andrew Garfield as Green Arrow. I'm holding out for Charlie Hunnam, though. Una Sima says, the guy that said, what a lovely day. By the way, love Anya and New Mutants. Okay. So maybe I'm not remembering the movie correctly, Una. Sorry about that. You know what? I need to watch the movie again. Maybe I'm just not remembering it. I can't remember if Charlie Hunnam was in that movie. But yeah, Anya and New Mutants. I'm gonna watch New Mutants today. So I know. I think other people responded to Darren tweeted on our Twitter that he actually liked it. Most people are saying that it's a movie that is kind of behind its times. It should have come out years ago, and it would have been a great movie. But I'm excited to watch it, to be honest. Yeah. So let's go ahead and end this video with one last topic. I don't think I put this on here, but we had some Batman set photos come out. I don't have them on me, but and my internet is crashing. But there are some Batman set photos of Robert Pattinson's The Batman, and it looks like an outside scene taken in Chicago. So we're gonna see this movie in the wintertime. And again, it's kind of not a shocker at all because if you followed the Long Halloween comics, it kind of spanned like the whole year. And of course, we're gonna see a winter scene, and we're gonna see action scenes in the snow. There's many sequences in the snow in that storyline. So not surprising here, but I thought I'd talk about it a little bit. This Batman movie is something I am so hyped for, and we were talking about spin-off shows earlier. The Batman is going to have a spin-off show, kind of like a year one show. I think the Batman might make an appearance, but it's supposed to be centered around Gotham PD. I think it lost one of its showrunners, the guy who ran Boardwalk Empire, and that one of the best HBO shows of all time. If you guys haven't seen Boardwalk Empire, they lost him, I think. So I'm a little bit less hyped for that now. So, but we'll see. Of course, I'm going to watch it. But yeah. That's the latest out of this Batman movie. No huge news there, just some set photos. Not the most revealing set photos like we've seen and talked about in other videos. All right, I'm gonna a few more comments, guys. If you guys want to, want me to respond to anything, let me know now because I'm gonna have to head out. Got daddy duties pretty soon. So Ray says, agreed, man. Just need a kick-ass Batman theme from Junkie XL in the Snyder Cut. Yeah. Though the music in BVS was great, nothing stood out to me as a proper Batman theme. Yeah, you know what? I like what Hans Zimmer did in Junkie, or was it Junkie XL only? I like what Hans Zimmer Junkie XL did with the Batman sequence in BVS, especially for his jaded version of Batman. But we have a different, we kind of have a different Batman now in Justice League, where an alien from outer space, Superman, kind of changed his trajectory in life and as a crime fighter, changed him back to the proper path. So I would love to see the theme definitely tweaked a bit for Justice League because we do know he's a different person again. He's kind of brought back to humanity, ironically enough, by an alien, the alien he was trying to kill. So I would love to see a tweaked version of his Batman theme in Junkie XL's, Justice League theme. And from what I heard, it is a kick-ass, it is a kick-ass theme, kick-ass metal. It feels super metal and just hardcore to me from what we, the sample that we heard. And I'm excited to see what Junkie XL does with this. Killer Cam, the main showrunner, a little disappointment, but it doesn't hype my excitement at all. Yeah, the main showrunner on the Batman spin-off show. Yeah, it only hampers my excitement because he did such a great job on Boardwalk Empire, and it was genius level writing, and to lose that, it just, I hope they whatever they put out next in terms of news for that show catches my attention, because again, I'm not one to have a set opinion that doesn't change. A lot of my opinions change over time, especially when it comes to this Batman movie, because I think you could probably find videos early on when we got the news that Robert Pattinson's, or we were going to have a new Batman. I was probably not as excited as I am now. So my opinions definitely evolve over time. Killer Cam says, before you leave, what are your thoughts on Martian Manhunter teaser in the trailer? So are you talking about the Lois Lane and Martha hug? Was that the teaser from the trailer, or am I missing something? I can't remember if there was a straight up teaser for Martian Manhunter in the trailer. And then Francis says, thoughts on Ray Fisher and Whedon situation. Oh man, oh yeah. I don't know why I didn't bring this up, guys. There was the other big news was, I guess Joss Whedon got dropped off, he says he was stepping down from his role as showrunner from the upcoming HBO show Nevers or something like that. And Ray Fisher went total savage on Twitter and says, I'm not going to let the studio spin this in any other way. He was let go because the ongoing situation and investigation going on to his actions on the set of the Justice League reshoots. So Ray Fisher basically outed him as being fired, essentially. And you know what? I hope justice is served. No pun intended. I hope justice is served. Ray Fisher seems to be the guy kind of calling out a lot of wrongdoings. And if there was wrongdoings, and it appears that there was, not just because I believe Ray Fisher, but, apparently there's evidence from behind the scenes, and there's people from the past who worked with Joss Whedon who would kind of attest to his behavior. So, I'm glad there's justice being served. That's all I can say. I don't really wish harm upon a lot of people or ill will. I'm trying to reframe my mind and not do that so much, but I just hope justice is served. And if it was, that's great. And I'm a fan of Ray Fisher. Oh, okay. So Killer Cam says, teased in concept art, then put in the trailer. So the concept art Martian Manhunter, apparently he's going to be the 7th member of the Justice League, since there's no Green Lantern, or at least that's what the thinking is among a lot of fans. And I'm super hyped. General Sonwick's character, Man of Steel, I forget the guy's name. He's a great actor. His name was on the tip of my tongue and I forgot it, but he's such a great actor. And I think I would love to see Martian Manhunter in this movie. And we got a tease of it in the Justice League that never was, of what we might have seen. I don't watch Supergirl. I didn't watch any episodes of Supergirl, to be honest, but Darren said he liked Martian Manhunter in there. But Martian Manhunter in the comics, super overpowered, OP character, just like Superman. And and I don't mean that in a bad way, just a super dope character and with a great backstory, and that could expand the universe of the DC so much. So I'm super hyped about that. I hope Zack delivers on that, on the look of him too. So last comment I'm gonna have read on here, guys, is Rion Simpson. Any news on the Green Lantern series on HBO Max coming up? The only news that I saw for Green Lantern was that there was going to be 3 different lanterns in it, and it's probably going to span a number of time periods. And they're probably going to, and if I had to guess, they're going to come together at the end. So it's going to be Guy Gardner. I think it was Jessica Cruz, and then I don't know why the third one's escaping me right now. The Green Lantern, Alan Scott, yeah. So those Green Lanterns are going to be cast, and apparently they're already cast, just haven't been announced yet. And if they're going to if they do anything like Doom Patrol, in which a lot of characters are from different time periods and they just somehow come together and make it work, I think that'd be cool. But that's the most we got. no news, no news other than that. But I do think HBO is ready to drop that announcement anytime soon, and best believe we're gonna cover it when they do. All right, guys. I gotta sign out here. I appreciate you guys jumping on here with me. I'm planning on doing more live streams like this, and again, I'll do a better job of announcing them ahead of time. So thank you guys for chilling with me on this Sunday morning. I hope you guys all have a great day. Again, drop a comment down below if you guys want me to cover anything in the future. I always love taking ideas from you guys. So I appreciate it, guys. You guys have a great day. I will catch you guys later. Peace.